Present your political show.
Welcome to another edition of
has a blog
Arrɛst fact. So I don't think I'll be.
You write
facts.
When you write this, hey Sewa, we know what you've been up to in this country. What do you know?
Where did you pick that from?
That is your Twitter page.
Okay.
That
Twitter is about agenda.
What's this agenda? So in other words, it's about fooling and saying stupid things that is meant to tarnish someone else's image. What's this factual about what you've written about Sewa?
I mean, Twitter is a different word, you know.
How? Twitter?
Get that right. You can't even spell am I. You can't even spell it.
Social media, it's me so share and Anyama Ghana and Mahama say any affair now. Nipa Bako, say we use social media and cyberbullying. Ayana in performance similar to Dano. Already won't can ye and also or then a perception. That's why I come across Bibia and in a Bongo ideas. Bongo ideas, you'll be in Canada, very active. I can tell a blogger because I send you a Babiano. He's eager to talk about on either Twitter or Instagram. Now, and Cherry, 14th of March 2024, I never told you say about Bongo ideas. Approach for alleged approach for I could pay more when you fear. I could channel, I could share baby or baby any baby qua or share. And check, not just say, no ye pay. Now, a camera person, summer work a come back who are actually gonna for a drink, a cosopa, and then may they ever so more. I will see him channel TV so. And more cover, Eddie CM channel TV, so Ghana news just the same, and then may they ever so moment to answer the now in Semba Qua Ghana for a drink a course so Bongo ideas, Eddie Namamonts, so I work on social media, so work and it said, and Ranty watching. As someone will catch it and say your last words. Just a can't on summer a church or cry as I see you so.
On 14th March 2024, around 3 a.m., some men masquerading as police officers broke into my room, dragged me out. I was threatened to be killed, where pistols were pointed to my head, and I was told to say my last prayers, right? So,
now, any more Anna actually got a phone with Adrian to say, now, Branty, who is seriously, I am a crane, and I am a crane. I come here for yesterday was shady behavior of America, will be man show a PTB and that's all PBB, a free above 44 and chain. And I say, is it justice that Bongo ideas is really looking for? Because say and Sema Wakana, how can you say you've been kidnapped and all these things goes on and you come and be on social media? Explain yourself and then now our interview on Ria TV Captain Smart and Pimu and international uncle I said interview on the Captain Smart one because when they on one casa a church on same and two Instagram page what they name some money you call money na a home fit here and in a way na abeto come home na yen kind or said this is what happened at way and is here. On the dawn of Thursday, March 14, 2024, around 2 to 3 a.m., while I was just dozing off in my couch, a group of suspected police officials invaded my home. Immediately, the entire household and some tenants in the house woke up to ask for their mission. They bluntly refused to answer them and moved straight to my door to break in. They eventually broke it open and full combat force. I woke up to check what was happening. There and then, I was hit in the face so hard, pinched to the floor, knees on my back and neck like George Floyd. And I was scared. I asked what my crime was, and the reply I received was 3 heavy slaps from the supposed officers who were brandishing a rifle and pistols. They dragged me back into my bedroom, ransacked it hurriedly, then took my iPhone 12 Pro Max, MacBook Pro 2020 M1, my MTN table net, router, ITEL, YAM, phone, and all my IDs, including my Ghana card, Visa card, Voters ID, and NHIA card. All my charges were also taken. In a Rambo style, I was dragged like a wanted fugitive into a minivan that looked like the police vehicle with no number plate. When the household requested for which station they were taking me to, they reluctantly said Central. Further questions from the first striking crowd were ignored. Immediately, I was pushed into the vehicle. I was blindfolded and a cover was put over my head. Then I was subjected to a severe physical abuse by these men, who then revealed to men subtly that they weren't sanctioned police officers. One of the men said verbatim, "You are very stupid for insulting my mother, and you will pay for it with your life. When you look at me, do I look like an ordinary police officer?" I mustered courage and asked who his mother was. He went berserk and reacted instantly by slapping me on the face multiple times and hitting me in the abdomen. I let out a heap of pain. The car traveled for a while and a call came purportedly asking them to take a detour. I was then told that they were taking me to a river to put bullets in my head and dump me. One of the men said, "Let's just finish him off here," and dump his body in the water. Nobody even noticed. I was told to say my final words as they pointed the erected pistols to my head. I went blank. After the men paced off and down for a while, contemplating on what to do to me when I eventually rendered lifeless, they somehow decided to put me back into the car. They said to me that they would not be taking me to the northern region where I would be killed and buried silently without a trace. One said in tree, "We will add you to the accident victims and bury you en masse." I was then transported to an unknown location where I was carelessly pushed up a flight of stairs while they blindfolded and in curves. I hit my head against the pillar several times. One of the men said in tree, "Commander, we have brought him." The commander asked me to kneel and reveal my password. I refused, and once again I received blows to my face, kicks to my tummy, and slaps to my back. I finally succumbed. I asked that my item be given back to me after they were done with the search, cause I have nothing incriminating on them. The reply I sharply got was whether I wanted my item back or I wanted my life back, and I said both. Subsequently, I was taken out and down and then put into a different car. I was taken to another unknown location, still in cuffs and blindfolded. After some minutes of a rough ride, I was given another set of unknown individuals who took me to a room and unlocked me out. After hours of being curved at the back, the metal started eating into my flesh and was feeling excruciating pain. Mabo. I asked that the curves be made more flexible and that they should take me to the law court and charge me if I committed any crime. Nobody was present to answer me. I realized, due to the bad stench in the room, I threw up a couple of times. I could not sit nor stand. I leaned. I was sweating profusely, with my face swollen like a thief who had been subjected to a mob violence. I laid on my side in the cold room for more than 8 hours. I only heard distant chatter and approaching footsteps. Nobody said anything to me or told me why I was there. At a point, I feared for my life, considering the fact that I was curved and powerless, bundled into a room and blindfolded, and didn't know if I were a sacrificial lamb being taken to the slaughterhouse. Later on, I was picked up like a log and put in another vehicle. This vehicle drove for a short while, and then I was given to a new set of individuals. These individuals dragged me by the collar of my shirt and pushed me into the car. The new cover was put over my blindfolded face, which made it difficult for me to cut some bread. I suffocated silently. I sat in the middle of two men at the rear who pinned my left to the carpet of the car with what felt like guns. My knees were hurt from time to time as we journeyed. They said no word, and the interior of the car felt like Toyota V8 or a SUV. Bongo ideas. Yakata with me. How did you know? You know, these are questions people are asking because everyone will bear with me say you're blindly when you if even say Yakata when you wouldn't see much. And other cars also have the same interiors and everything. So how would you know that this car is a SUV or Toyota V8? Okay, or an own sense of humor. These men drove me for 30 minutes until they got to their destination. Then I was brought out and pushed into a room. A man came to give me a further instructions and warning. He said, "Why do you insult the president of the country? A small boy like you should not have audacity to criticize the president. As if the economy is not working, does it call for insult? All your other friends will also be picked up and disciplined in due time." Then no one of his boys subjected to me to immense physical torture by hitting my carved hand with a stick until they became numb. More slaps followed with every word that he said. My chin was hurt until it started to bleed. How did you know? Then the hot words continued. It was like, "How much have you taken from the opposition? How much has Mahama and the NDC paid you to publish what you publish? Tell us now." Mention their names. I have no answers for them, and that I was beaten to a near pub. Then I was taken back to the vehicle. They got out, switched off the AC and closed the door. The heat in the car made me shout for help. I was literally losing my breath while I was still covered blindfolded. Then one of the men suggested that I be dropped at an unknown place at night. A new suggestion to drive me around the hours was rather taken. I asked where I were, and one said you were somewhere in the eastern region. Subsequently, the curves were removed. My swollen wrists and hands hung loosely. I was then tied up again with a rope at the back and pushed into a car. After several minutes of ride, I was brought out and abandoned in the forest near a path. They drove off speedily. I shook, nodded, and heard vigorously until the blindfolded started to loosen up. They had taken the cover off the blindfold, so it took me nearly a minute also for it to drop off my face and eyes. Whoa. I saw light for the first time since long. Then I picked up a stone to cut the rope. It was an effort to fertility, but I persisted until it cut. A good Samaritan and Okada rider felt pity judging by my state and brought me back home. He gave me his helmet and made me sleep on his back while I pointed out the direction to him. He later revealed to me that where I was dropped off by the kidnappers was bottom my race course. A day after, I went to the Sotium police station and filed a report and risk assessment. My family had already done that after visiting a police station and finding me the day before. I was subsequently admitted at the hospital. The police are currently investigating the incident, so I would like to keep the details thereof from the public. All the logins to my social handles have been compromised and changed. The password to my iCloud, Google, and Twitter accounts have been altered, so I can't log in. Also, I had to get a police extract in order to get a scanner card replacement, so to get my SIM card back, which ultimately helped me to log into my Instagram and Facebook accounts. I am working to get my Twitter and Google accounts back. In the meantime, my new Twitter handle is Bongo Ideas 24/7. Thanks for your kind concern. I strive to make full recovery back again as soon as I can. Ghana is not safe. Albert Nathaniel ni o kind to hey Bongo Ideas. It's not just saying then sema or they other two dry a day amagana for if I kidnapper or children say course. Now, see, no question I gonna for be more Edison say. Bongo Ideas, you are saying that you were kidnapped, and in some way, never true. do baby you say obi bisa say opposition party NDT and Mahama na ama Oscar when ya no do baby will say ye beja wo to wurem and I know where you scarf me how do you know we see yakata wani e chichiri wani pan time and you then I would pray a scaffold. They say questions are gonna focus on maybe sound to me target and my Bongo ideas, my Bongo me here. And if you say these are questions that are worrying or is worrying Ghanaians, what's nothing? And I watch share as an I will trust in you. And I would have a break because how can you say the kata wani and I won't say can I would see the Toyota V8 and you do call her and I brand and crowd to me who say, you know, like maybe I wasn't there, but it was his own experience. But at least Ghana for say, oh my explanation, I mean a vivid explanation. Now you Bongo ideas is staying there. Or a part of some any amount post for say more better some so and until on me for vivid information therefore now and for blue baby. Say the Twitter handle was the son of Bongo ideas 24/7. Yes, I'm going on tefo. Okay. And the Instagram page they will and the Facebook page is on there. When you say no. I had long than a minimum basi. Oh, Bongo ideas and once and sema to say about what you much say. Kidnapping no, and won't send me now. I want to tougher. Tell them why I want to city. And they are Bashon Ghana for my crown. Now, since send me about which this one, my Muslim for.